So something came up. Someone asked me some questions I haven't been asking myself for a while. Like they literally didn't cross the mind, like kind of very normal questions. But it was interesting to see when I was looking for answers, how to, like, I'm looking for answers. I'm looking in direct experience. Um, Questions like, where do you see yourself in a year, in the 5 years time? Where would you like to go? Like, what is your goal in life? What is your plan for life? What do you want of life? How do you want life unfolds for you? That type of questions. And when I was looking for answers, it was very interesting to notice that I don't have any personal plans, any personal like desires in regards to my work or career. There's like, when I look at that, what we normally call like mind space, like head, where thoughts are appearing, that's like this empty vastness, openness, and like there's nothing there. It's just emptiness. And same time, like thoughts about futures, they do come. Planning does happen. Like I can still do like shopping list, what groceries I need to buy. Or if I need to take my car to mechanic, like I'm thinking about this, like I'm going to garage, I need to sort out, I need to change oils, like I'm giving a call, organizing things. Things like this happen. Like it's not like it's completely empty, like, like, and I'm only speaking from my experience. I can't speak about everyone, but I'm only sharing what has happened here. So when I looked, I couldn't answer, like, what do I want of life? What I really would love to happen? I would love to know. And that's very honestly. I would love to know what is this anatab, what they talk about. Like, I'm very, like, curious. It's kind of scary, that thought about the self not being here, because there is still that sense of self, something here is here. Despite nothing can be found. That's the most bizarre thing. But so it's like, when I a sense of me, it's like it is here and it's not here simultaneously. Like I can't say I am not, and I can't say I am something. But I'm not like nothing either. um a feeling of you as localized in the body, limited by a body shape, that's dissolving more and more. And a feeling of you having body, that comes like thinning out more and more, dissolving, gone more and more. And what is left, it feels the same as that, like where we normally look for our thoughts, like mind space. That is the very same space. What feels like this you are, but there is no you as such. So it's like you're something, but you're nothing. But that nothing is not like completely nothing. It's something, but nothing. I know it sounds crazy. And yeah, this like sense of some kind of concrete, solid me as it used to be. It goes away more and more, but it's not like one moment and it's gone. It's very like gradually happening. And I think it's happening so gradually, it's shifting so slowly. I don't even notice how much it's falling off, dissolving, disappearing. Only looking back, I'm just like, oh, it used to feel like that now back then, and now it feels this way. And that's when you notice, like the difference. But without thinking about past experience, this become because it is so gradual and that adaptation integration happens over time, it becomes your new normal, and you don't even feel like something actually has changed. Only when someone asks you questions like this and you start really like looking in your direct experience and you start answering the questions, and that's you just like, oh, very interesting. When people ask me, like, okay, you're going to get whatever this enlightenment awakening. I don't even know what that is. I literally don't know what this enlightenment's supposed to mean. Awakening process. I'm calling that because I don't know what else to call it. Because a process is happening here. You can clearly see that. But there is this thoughts getting applied, this me door. But you also can see that. But in direct experience, you can't find anyone doing, and you clearly see that is a process, self unfolding process without any me in it. And same times this like sense of me is still here, and sense of me being this person, it comes at times, especially when interacting with other humans. It feels like very me talking to that human in that moment. And and then I can just sit like this, and there is no any me, nothing me. What sense of me is here? and this body is also happening in this vastness, openness, spaciousness. So you kind of instead of being this physical body, you become something undefinable, and no boundaries, no limits, no start point, no end point, nothing localized, but it still feels like you're something here. This something is like nothing, but it's nothing is not nothing. And here is nothing localized because you can't find this here, but it still feels like here. So it's very contradictory, like yeah. And when someone asks me, what about, like future? What do you want? What is your plan? And then, like, it's so bizarre because you can clearly see to get into some kind of future, you need to start think about, I'm here now, future is over there. So it's point A to point B, and you construct this, like, okay, next stage, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, so I'm going to get to point B. But you can see that it's all mental construct, and in reality, you can't find any me, you can't find any future, you can't find any like time as such, as we normally do believe in time. And so there is no what is next. Because I was, like when I explained what is happening for me, even like saying for me, it makes me laugh because it's like really laughable. Because it's so bizarre. There is me and there is no me. But anyway, when someone asks me, okay, so let it be the way you're saying, and what is next? And I'm just like, but there is no next. There is no next. Because there is no next. It's only saying what is happening. It is what is now, right now. That's it. There is nothing else. And it's so hard to explain, or, like, because for me that's how it feels. That's how it is. That's how I'm experiencing it. So, and I never realized this, like, future, next, planning. It's kind of, I can't say it doesn't exist for me anymore. It still does to some degree. Because I can think about, like, summer and, like, what I want to do in summer, where I want to go, or, like, I would like to visit that place. So, like, I'm looking at weather forecast and I'm like planning where I'm going. I'm looking at maps, like I'm looking directions. Like practical planning is still happening, but like visions about like future. See, it's very paradoxical again because it's kind of yes and no. And so yeah, until I actually looked at this in so directly, trying to answer some questions, I didn't even realize that's how I'm operating now. And it's very strange when you realize that. So, with this sense of me, it's not like it's completely gone. It's not like it is as a concrete, as a solid as it used to be. It's something like appearing, disappearing, appearing, disappearing. At times there is more, at times there is less. More interaction with humans, more solid, like more concrete, more heavier it feels here. More like believed, maybe. More perceived, yeah, like this is me, and like I am talking, I am doing. When like now I'm sitting here on my own, no other humans, then it's just like this, like more of this vastness, openness, spaciousness, and this body is happening in it as a part of it, but it's not separated from it. His body is a same visual appearance as anything else. There is this sensations, what is happening to this body, nervous system, physicality, biology, and these behaviors are coming up. Like something is happening, thoughts are coming up, emotions. About emotions also is very interesting. Is a lot of going through the shadow work. There is nervous system is kind of building resilience, and it becomes more okay experiencing directly very strong physical sensations, what we normally call emotions, such as grief, emotional pain, feeling hurt, and there's like a very deep survival fears, what we as humans, as animals, we are born with that. like this fear of abandonment, which in my case comes more like a fear of separation. You can clearly see, like there is this, like, I believe that's my interpretation of it. Like, we as, like, same as monkeys, as animals, we are born with that. We are wired as our biology, our nervous system for survival, for this human body, for this, like, physicality, born wired this way. So we need to grasp and attach to have a hold on our caregivers, because the system's survival is dependent on having them, because they provide this survival. And there is that grasping that, and so that's formed initially. We form our nervous system getting wired as attachment styles to our caregivers, and, like, deep down there is that, like, biological fear of separation from them caregivers, which can be called as fear of abandonment, because it's same thing. But for me, I don't know, it just feels like more fear of separation, because once you feel like you're separated from the caregiver, that's it. It's just like, it's like a very terrifying survival. You need to have a hold on them. And when you feel like you're getting, like, separated, there is, like, threats of this connection going to be disturbed, and somehow you're going to lose that connection to them. That's, like, your survival is threatened, and this, like, physiological fear comes up. And first it came, I woke up and I noticed, like, mind is like, oh, that was just a dream, it's a something. And I just, like, hold on, what is happening in the body? And you just, like, dives of attention in the body, and you really start to feel like this, like, very intense survival primal fear. And there's no thoughts in that moment, it's just moving through your body. And when that is moving through your body, it's just like a big wave. It, like, fully takes you over. But Angelo gave a very good suggestion on one of his recent Q&As, which is really, like, I noticed, like, my mind just, like, oh, that's very good. And I'm practicing that when these sensations comes up. Not to restrict them sensations to the body, boundaries, but to expand your attention to visual to sound field. And once you expand your attention to this field, as the same vastness, same spaciousness, this capacity to move for these sensations, this, like, energetics, whatever they are, expands, and body kind of, like, relaxes more, and it's easier for these sensations to move through, for these energies to move through. So, like, when this, like, big wave of fear comes up and takes you over, and you notice, like, your breathing, like, increase, and then it just, and it's, like, cramping in your guts, and the body shakes it off, and it process can take, like, an hour, over an hour, and you just, like, like, body just processing, like, next wave and next wave and next wave, but there is no resistance to it. It's just, like, happening. Not very pleasant, but it's a wee bit a wee bit of discomfort. Yeah, it's not pleasant experience. But physically, a sore tummy when you have diarrhea is much more uncomfortable, much more painful experience than this, like, fear is processed and self-liberating. And so, yeah, this is how this, like, experience, like, emotional experiences are happening. And once nervous system realizes it is safe. Nothing actually happens to you. There is no danger to feel all that. Next experience of a fear comes up, tension naturally drops in without even questioning, without even directing it there. And it's just process just like happening and self-releasing. And it happens again and it happens again. And what I noticed, that this process of these emotions, especially fear, somehow there is like a very like curiosity is really growing stronger, because it just becomes so interesting, like to see, to actually feel, experience how all this is moving through the body. Like you notice like how this is like start raising up, like contracting and doing this and doing that. It's very, very interesting. It feels like you have an access to biology laboratory, and you're taking a part, you're participating in this biological physiological experiment. And it's not only like participating, you're really experiencing it. And this like wow, what is next? About what is next, that's another interesting thing. When I was answering these questions, what I was asked, I actually realized that I don't know what's going to happen, and I don't know what's going to happen, and I don't know what's going to, I didn't know this is going to happen, and I don't know what's going to happen next, and I don't know, I really don't know, I literally don't know. and I also that, like you can see like, but how would you know? There is no possibly you could know. And this tendency, like to navigate future, it does come up. It doesn't drop at one go. It doesn't. And when that come up, sometimes that is like more persistent, more believed. And then like all this like old mechanisms, old strategies with thinking, planning, they do happen. But once that happens, once that wave worked through, there's something else happens. And then there's something else happens. And then there's something else happens. So that's how it just goes. And you kind of become like more fascinated, more interested, like, and what's going to be next? And what's going to be next? And what's next? It's literally like a child anticipating Christmas Day, like, what's going to happen? Or, like when you're opening these presents and like, what is inside it? Yeah, or like, you plant a seed and you don't know what it's supposed to be. You don't know what this plant, what the seed is, what plant's supposed to grow. And you just keep observing, like how this seed is just like getting bigger, and then it starts to expand, and then leaves appears, and you see the shape of leaves, and like next leaves, and that's growing bigger and like evolving, and it's fascinating. It's fascinating. And sometimes these experiences are quite intense and quite unpleasant, sometimes not wanted, because it's not always nice. But also that not wanting it, it's kind of like a part of the experience itself. And you see that not wanting is there. So yeah, that's something like that.